listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting off baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's no manager in baseball I'd rather be talking to right now. Scratch that. There's no human being in baseball I'd rather be talking right now. Scratch that. There's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Alex Cora. How's that feel? Good?
You're full of it.
That's not full of it.
I mean,
true.
You get me once a year. So around this time when I go to winter weekend or whatever it is.
I know. That's why I'm so fortunate. I'm grateful. I'm blessed, and I mean it. It's from the bottom of my heart because
thank you.
Yeah, I do. I do because you also. I said this the other day to somebody that you were the one who identified the brand as the brand. So
is the brand. I was actually looking for the Joe Kelly fight.
I know you
fight club. I was looking for it and. It's in Boston, so I
got to go one. Of all your interviews last in 2024, the one that you did when you were trying to explain how Tristan Cassis can't say two different things, when you said when you said you can't be telling Rob and the brand one thing. I'm like, you get it. Thank you.
I get the brand. I get it. Yeah. I saw something about the brand. It's Dodgers are retired. That's what he said.
Ooh, oh the Godfather, the LLC,
the Jefe, the head puncher.
That's not. I mean, that's not news. I think that was an educated guess. I don't think he wants. I don't think he wants to move out of Rancho Cucamonga unless he wants to make the long commute to San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's always a. By the way. Could we say you saw my tattoo, correct?
Correct.
All right. And if you win it all, what are you going to do?
I'll get one. Yeah. No, I don't know, man. The boys hate it, man. The boys hate that. So, yeah. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. There's wishes and bets, all that, and then there's family. Let me. Where's yours? In your arm?
Yeah, you want to see it
or neck? Yeah,
no. Yeah, it's on my neck as a QR code.
Yeah.
It's on the inside of my bicep,
like the MLB ones on the back of the neck.
Yeah, it's all those. Everyone who's gotten those regret it, but. I'm editing the other part. All I know is that you said you're going to get it. Do you have any tattoos? I don't even know.
No, I don't.
That's pretty. When you go through the University of Miami and you don't get any tattoos, that's pretty good.
No. That's profiling, bro. Come on.
It's not. Yes, it is. Listen, do you want me to? We can take a deep dive into the University of Miami if you want.
We can. I got some stories. Yeah. Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis,
Alonzo Highsmith came up the other day.
And the podcast?
No.
Oh
no, he's
the GM of the team,
Patriots.
right?
Patriots, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he was involved with UM at one point.
No, he was, but he's not with the Patriots, so he was a little bit before your time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we know history.
Who was the guy that recruited you? Who was the guy who showed you around Miami?
The host?
Yeah.
Oh, Huicho Hernandez, 4-year senior, Luis Hernandez. He's a Stolas Pedroia. He's kind of like the Pedroia of UM, Then he went to Harvard. He's rich. He has a boat and he lives at the Ritz and Huicho Hernandez. So they take you to dinner, and then after that, they take you to South Beach. And by the time I got to the Holiday Inn at 6 a.m, I made my decision. I'm coming here.
That's how it works. I mean, that's the listen. I'm not profiling. I'm just like, this is the blueprint of recruiting at Miami, right?
It was very simple. It was very simple. They took me out Friday night. Actually, the Saturday game, the Orange Bowl was amazing. It was Virginia. No, was it Virginia Tech? 90.
So they take you to the football game though.
100%. Orange Bowl back in the day. Woof, that was real. That was real. So that was 90, 92. So we were pretty good, you know. Orange Bowl, pack house, thing was rocking, you know. It was nice. It was cool.
If you get to the Holiday Inn at 6 a.m., at what time of night do you know that you're going to University of Miami? Is it like 2 a.m.? Is it 3 a.m.? Is it 4 a.m.?
It was around 3:45.
3:45. So,
yeah, but they drop you up at 6, and then you have to get up at 8 because there's a boat. They take you out in a boat. By that time, we all committed already. You know, when Turtle told me like, "What we got?" Like, we're good.
Who else was with other people with you?
Michael Torti. He was like the number one prospect from Dallas at that time. Tommy Dollar. He was a pitcher. Cowboy, wearing boots and a hat in Miami. Ryan Grimmett, who's from Ohio, and Ryan Brennan, who's from California. Yeah.
Did they all commit? Did they all commit?
They all committed. Yeah. Torti and Grimmett were like the top two guys. We actually have a group chat and we go back and forth. And they were saying that the other day when Notre Dame was playing, they were like, we almost went to Notre Dame with Coach Murphy. And I'm like, until you met me and you decided to hang out with me in Miami.
Yeah. Listen, 2:45 a.m. on a boat. Notre Dame's not doing that.
No. We're not.
This is my expert segue into how recruiting in baseball for managers isn't the same, right? So
wow.
What boat did you take Juan Soto out at 2:45 a.m.?
No, there was no boat. It was a big meeting, a really good one. You know, like we play against him. You know who he is. I remember in 21 when we played them after the Friday game. You know, we're walking out at Nationals Park, and I say, "Hey, man, you're a good player, bro." You know, and during the meeting, he remembered that. It's cool that you get to know the person. The questions that he asked were real. You know, you're like, okay. I don't know if it was him studying the Red Sox or obviously Scott preparing them. But it was eye-opening how can I put it? You know, like they see the shuffle, all that, but he's the opposite of shuffle. You know, like he's very, locked into his craft. He knows what he wants. He knows how good he is too, and very family oriented. Very family oriented. You know, it was a good meeting.
So you go into that, and you've been part of. I mean, nothing like that. I mean, this because it hasn't been a player like that. Because you guys weren't on any Ohtani meetings or anything else, but nothing like this. So when you go into that, what is a thing that you didn't expect? Like you think you know what to expect. You know, obviously you had his agent. You know those guys. What was surprising to you about it?
Throughout the meeting, throughout the meetings this year, and had a conversation with John a few days ago. It's interesting and eye-opening how players, first of all, they know their craft, but they want to know more. You know, it's not only, what you have now, it's what's going to happen in the future, where we going, this and that. A lot of good questions. The family part of it, it became a thing throughout the offseason, and understandably so. We I'm not going to go to specifics, but there were some guys. I think the one everybody knows was Burnes, right? It seems like he wanted to be in the West Coast,
Right? Yeah.
and he got he stayed in the West Coast, for whatever reasons, and it's a different. I think guys are different now, right? Like they get married younger, they got young families, and they want to feel comfortable where they at. And this is not a knock to the East Coast or Boston, whatever. Some of these guys, they're in Arizona, and
Burnes wanted to go to Arizona. I mean, that's not.
I want to be in Arizona or spring training in Arizona. At the end of the day, obviously, money talks, but it's been interesting just getting to know a lot of these guys, talking to them, and okay, I had this different perspective of this player, and now when I see him, I'm not going to be pulling for him when they're facing us, but I can pull for them because I got to know them. I understand who they are, what they want, their values. So it's been a great offseason in that end.
When you go back to Soto, when you walk out of there, you know that other teams, that, like, again, there's money, there's everything else. But did you feel good about it walking out of there?
Everybody feels good about the meetings. Whenever I read this team had a great meeting with so-and-so, no shit, right? Like, yeah, it's a good meeting. We had X amount of people there. Scott had X amount of people there. Whoever leaked the information, whatever, what are they going to say? It was a bad meeting? It was horrible? No, it's always a good meeting, but going into it, I didn't know, it was a long flight from Boston to LA, a long flight from LA to Boston, a lot of conversations. But at the end of the day, I think, we talk about money, right? Like he got paid and he ended up with a team that I think most of the people going into the off season, they thought that he was going to go there.
The last thing is, there's this not the perception, but I have to fend this off. I've been adamant, and Alex, listen, I'm wrong a lot, but I try to take educated guesses. But when I have people say, well, no, they weren't really interested. This was just all a facade. I mean, I'll ask you, like, was this a very real thing?
It was a very real thing. It was, it was something that we talk about, for weeks, and we had our at bat, right? Like we had to go all the way over there to meet them, and I know that it was real. It was real. At the end, it worked out for the player, right? And like I said, at that point, we needed to pivot, move on, and we wish Juan the best. It's at those 3 or 4 games we play against the Mets.
How about going into you mentioned Corbin? I would imagine Fried. I mean, I don't know if there was an in-person meeting or whatever. Was there with Fried, with you?
There was a meeting. Yeah, there was a meeting. Yeah. But
okay.
I mean, it's so easy now to connect with people. I mean, like, look at us. Right?
Yes.
I mean,
this is the most important meeting you'll have all off season.
You're up there. It's 15 degrees. I'm here. It's 75.
It's like every time. Like, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason you always try to, like, get me around this time, because it's good weather here and it's freezing up there. Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to connect with players. So easy after the fact, like if you want to, if they have another question or whatever, they can call you. It's a fun process, to be honest with you. It's one of those that I think back in the day, they will fly people to the city and walk them around, right? Go to Fenway and see the clubhouse and all that. Now it's more, more about the Zoom or meeting in person, and that's it. Like I think there's no, like, college recruiting, right? There's no Miami, South Beach.
No, there's no jumbotron. There's no, yeah.
There's no. I mean, I bet there's for certain guys they do it, but I think overall as an industry, it's not that way.
So let's focus on someone you did get, like Walker Buehler, right? and I really like this signing. Not only, and we talk a lot about, yeah, you got to be good, but also presence and getting through a season and knowing what it's like to win and mentality. Right. Let's go. I mean, I don't know if you got that sense when you talked to him, when you did.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away. Well, I got that feeling when I saw him in October. I got that feeling in 2018. Just what he did to us in 18 in Game 3, that was impressive. I mean, the feedback we were getting from the hitters, we had no chance that day. And he always caught my attention. He caught my attention that day, and throughout his career, I've been following him. And in October, I saw him. I was like, he's getting there, right? He's getting there. I think the bright lights of New York, right? Kind of like, okay, here we go. I gotta do this. And then the fact that he pitched that last inning, I was like, man, this guy, I think, he'll be perfect for us. Bring that kind of like, persona to where we play, not afraid to the big stage, right? And being around some people that, they're going to be Hall of Famers, right? He comes from an organization that they do it right. I texted some people that we know, right? And they were like, yeah, you're going to love him. You're going to love him. And when those people tell me that, is because they know how I do it, and they know the type of players I like, right? So, those guys, it was Kike and Joe. Kike and Joe,
huh? Yeah.
Kike and Joe. They were like, yep, yeah, he'll be okay up there. He'll be okay. So excited about him. He called me right away, FaceTime me, and kind of like he's ready to roll. But during the meeting, just listening to him about how he goes about his craft, it was impressive. And you got analysts and you got Bales, and you got a lot of people in those meetings, and he was always kind of like one step ahead of us. Like sometimes you talk about, hey, have you think about throwing this pitch or whatever? He was always ahead of us, and he was like, oh, okay, cool. So we're in the right path. And obviously, at the end, it's all about money. He bet on himself, and he bet on the Red Sox, right? So I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be good. We have to take care of him. We know that. He never mentioned that, but obviously we've been through this path before, and we will take care of them like everybody else. I think we do a pretty good job doing that with our starters. And the thing is about maximizing him. Hopefully he can start 30 games and help us win games to make it to the playoffs.
Well, you talk about taking care of it, and I know the 6-man rotation keeps coming up, but I almost feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong, which I'm sure you will, but it's really like, let's talk about that when we get there. Let's see how many guys that we have. Let's see how the schedule lines up. Let's see what each week looks like. Everyone wants to say, oh, there we go. 6-man rotation, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at our schedule, probably you haven't. I think we played like 14 games in 15 days right away. Then there's another stretch that is high volume of games. But then in June and July, I think we get every Thursday off. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, what are we doing, But we'll play with the schedule. We'll talk to the players. We'll talk to the trainers. And we'll make decisions based on the most important thing of our sport, right? The player. Like, this is not about me or Bales or the Red Sox. This is about how can we maximize the player? How can we keep him on the field? At the end, it's a player-driven business, for how much people say, oh, the manager and the GM and this and that. Bro, it's about the players. We got to keep it on the field. We do that, we're going to be up.
How does, to go back to sort of you said you like recruiting, you like everything. How does this offseason feel different, or does it? I mean, I don't know, because, there was times you put your best foot forward last year. There was times you put the best foot forward the year before. In 18, you put your best foot forward. Like, this was obviously going to be an offseason. I think a lot of people expected, well, not only are you going to spend money, not only are you going to trade guys, but everybody is, let's go. How does this feel different? Does it feel different?
I mean, we trade, we sign, we recruit, and the season is and the off season is not over, right? There's different ways to improve the roster, and we just have to be patient. We have to, see what benefits us and go from there. At the end of the day, it's execution, right? You hear me saying this since the end of the season. We have to execute, but to execute, it takes, two to tango, right? And you not only, in trades, it has to be 2 teams or 3 teams, right? Free agency is 2 groups, right? So sometimes teams lined up, sometimes agencies and teams lined up, and you go from there. But from my end, we're deeper pitching wise. That's something that we needed to do. Everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what we haven't done the last 3 years, we came up short pitching wise. That's the bottom line, right? Like we are there, and then we ran out of pitching, injuries, people struggling, whatever. So we're deeper. How it's gonna play out, we'll see. But Chapman and Wilson, is something that in the bullpen, we needed it, right? They can complement, the lefties that we have, and competition is good too. That's the bottom line. Competition will help us get to the next step, in the rotation, the same deal, right? We're dealing with a few things, whatever, and Ramon just lost. There is 1-1 in the playoffs. Ramon Vasquez.
Tell him, text him, please, my condolences.
He'll be there tomorrow. He'll be there. He's gonna miss. He's gonna miss game 3, 4, and 5 of the playoffs.
He is
because
to go to Fenway Fest.
We got meetings.
Oh,
we got meetings.
I was gonna say.
We got meetings. But going back to I think competition is gonna make us better. As far as like the roster, we got some intriguing players. We do, and the offseason has been good as far as like the health of them, and taking a step forward, and I'm excited about it. What is your conversation? You don't have to tell me exact conversations, but with Rafael Devers, like Rafael Devers it's a complicated thing, right? Maybe not. I don't know, but he plays third base. There's all these different rumors about players potentially being acquired and moving around and whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe you haven't had any conversation. Say, hey, Rafi, just do your thing and dominate. I don't know. Rafi, he went to Boston a few weeks ago. Saw the trainers. Spent the whole week with Kiyoshi over there working out, and it's business as usual. Like I said in Dallas, if something happens and it's about changing positions, all of that, the first person who's going to know is Rafael Devers. That's the bottom line. It's how it works. It's how we operate. That's how I would like to be treated, right? We respect, and I think Rafi, all he wants to do is win. I remember when we were close to signing Chapman. I go, hey, what if you don't have to face Chapman again, or you don't have to face Chapman next year? He's like, what? He's like, what if you don't have to sign him? He's like, thank God, And this is a guy that hit the homer or whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say that's number 1 on his Wikipedia page. Are you kidding me? That's the first one. But he was excited about that. The trade, that one, I know he was very genuine. He was like, I don't want to face that guy anymore, and he was excited. Even Sandoval and Wilson, guys that throughout the years we have seen. And they've been good pitchers, right? And he'll text me here and there about players, but as far as what people are talking about, as far as his position, all that, nothing. It's just keep working and keep getting better. And he's in a good spot right now physically. So I gave the opportunity, as I'm sure you listen because you listen to this podcast relentlessly.
I talked to Giolito. I said, okay, here's your chance. Let's workshop this. Here's your recruitment for Max Fried. It didn't work out, but
I mean, but he was very honest about it.
Oh
right?
no, he was honest.
He was like, bro, I cannot change his mind. He was like,
yeah,
8 years, 210.
I said, what? It's like, what was it? How much? Like when you get 200, whatever, like 18 million, like that's. You don't change your mind. That doesn't change your mind.
Yeah, you're like you can be the best man in the wedding and the best friend of the whole world, and you know what? You go.
But I was going to afford you the same opportunity. I'm Alex Bregman.
No. We can't go there. Can't go there. I keep saying that. The player. He's a good player, man. He's a guy that since he got there in 2016, to Houston, the way he goes about his business, and this is not about like intangibles, right? He's a player, right? He's a good player. He's a good hitter.
The intangibles don't hurt, right? I mean,
yeah, but I mean, like, there's a lot of guys out there that they can be good leaders, and there's a lot of good free agents out there that can help. That's the bottom line. But everybody knows that. He's a good player and he can impact any franchise and help them win.
And he could play any position on the infield.
I mean, he was very vocal about it, I think, right? Last year, at one point, he was actually going to play first base, right? Because of whatever he was going on with him. Yeah. So, and I think Scott, when he did his presser in Dallas and in Arizona, I think it was, whatever. Yeah. He started dropping lines and all that whatever he does. I think he was very vocal about it too.
So congratulations, you have a good team. Like I think you have a good team. And I mean, which means everything, I'm sure, to you. That I think that you have a good team. But it seems like the American League is more wide open than ever. For you, what is the thing that you say, and maybe you can say a player, a position, or a thing, they say, all right, you know what? We said we're going to take the next step. This is how we take the next step. And again, it could be a player, it could be a position, it could be just a thing. What is it? Because it's there, man. It's there. It's there.
There's a few. I truly believe that offensively we need to be more consistent. And I'll explain myself. It feels like at the end of the season, you see the numbers and you're like, oh, top 5 offense in the American League, top 5 offense in the big leagues. But you that follow us on a daily basis, there's like a stretch there that, yeah, he's the pitching, right? We struggled pitching-wise, but there was a stretch last year that we didn't hit, right? Mm-hmm. And you're not going to win every game like we did at one point last year, 7-2, 7-5, 8-5. You're going to go through stretches like that the offense is going to carry you. But when we're struggling offensively, we cannot go the way we did in August and September. That's something we have to be better. It happened last year. It happened 2 years ago. We have to find a way that when we're not banging, we got to find a way to win games offensively in other ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how do you do that? What's I mean, besides everyone getting better?
Well, I mean, I think we put plans together in towards the end of the season and for the off season. I think Pete and the group have been very diligent about certain things with certain guys, right? We need to hit the fastball in the zone, or we have to lay off the fastball up in the zone, either or, we cannot just keep swinging and missing, right? Mm. Certain guys just to drive the ball, to be more patient. You keep working on that stuff, and I can guarantee you that group have done an amazing job traveling, meeting guys, just following up with the plans. At the end of the day, when you go to spring training, we're gonna see, but Rafaela, right? Get stronger. That's it, right?
Did he get stronger?
I think he's gained like 10, to be honest with
right.
you. Yeah. That's a start.
I mean, that's another thing I was going to say. Vaughn Grissom, like you can see he got stronger, right?
Vaughn, Trevor looks good. Cassis looks leaner, right? Like, I mean, not as big, but stronger. David Hamilton. I got a video. They sent me a video yesterday. Strong.
Really
strong.
Really?
Yeah. Connor Wong, too. So Trevor has a camp now, but Wonger and Hammy, they went there a week after the winter meetings. You know, this is the Trevor Story show. You know, he has a new facility. Where they're working out is his facility.
It's his thing?
He
bought it? He made it?
He built it.
Really?
Bro, it's crazy. You know, like crazy. Weight room, training room, recovery room,
is it next to his house?
Room.
Is it like
no, somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, you can take grounders, you can hit. I mean, it's amazing. So he had a group earlier, Wonger and Hammy, and he was like, "Hey, man, they look really good, like strong." You know,
they came in early. There was a Trevor Story camp 1.0.
Yeah, this is 2.0. This is kind of like COVID year.
Oh, this was the one where the Red Sox social media team didn't go to. So
yeah. Spring training 2.0, whatever they call it.
Who's all right? Because I know that you love giving me crap about this. Best shape of your life. Like who's the best? Put it down. So far, what we have documented is that you'll get a baseballs and boring tattoo if you win the World Series. I don't care. There's no backing down off of that. And second of all, like who is best shape of his life come February, 12th?
Best shape of his life. David Hamilton.
Best shape. Really? Like he was already in good shape, though. I mean,
no, but you'll see it.
You know what? When you're talking, it's sort of like I like. It seems like there'll be competition. I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to guys signing, and you're not going to tell me. But still, there's a lot of guys who it's sort of rubber meets the road time for them, right?
100%. And this is something that you start thinking about in the off season, how that first meeting is going to look, right? Or when I see them this weekend, and it's always different. And our boy Tomasi, he always reminds me what I said in 19 about running it back, like that was a big mistake. And every season is different. Every season, I learned that. But this one, I don't want to say let's get back to business, like business-like attitude. But the way the offseason has gone with the players is kind of like, like the expectations are the expectations. There's 30 teams right now that are talking about the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in that meeting, the first meeting, everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, this is what we're going to do, But for me, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that's the goal. That's what we're going to, we're not going to actually talk about it. Last year, I wanted them to talk about it because it felt like nobody believed it.
Right.
Now you're talking about it's a good team. They have a good team. So what we have to do, we got to take the next step. For us to take the next step, we have to be better, right, in every aspect. So it's kind of like, like just put the work, just keep going. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Keep going, keep working. I think the principles of the things that we wanted to do in the future were planted last year, to be honest with you, in a lot of aspects in the clubhouse, with the front office, in the training room, in the weight room, and now, like I've been saying, we got to go. I said, I remember what I said towards the end of the season, and I said a few times. I said, this is the last time we're going to struggle. This is the last time we're going to struggle. And for that to happen, we have to keep working and keep getting better. Yeah,
it's a results business. It's
100%.
Right.
100%.
I mean, it's not, it's, we talked about the off season before. It's like, it's a results business in the off season. It's a results business. Like that's what it is. I mean, sometimes there's you realize that more than other times in this and you and I have both been through Red Sox iterations of Red Sox, whatever. But this is like, yeah, I think you can be good, but doesn't make a difference. Yeah, I think you're gonna have a good offseason, but it doesn't make a difference, So
yeah, I think honestly, where we at right now, and with the additions that we have made, being deeper helps. Last year it felt like we ran out of pitching at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people talk about they didn't make adjustments, all that. Think about it. We blew 31 saves, right? 31.
It's a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Honestly,
it's 5 play. It's this, and this is something. Obviously, you cannot take back plays or decisions and all that, whatever. But 5 decisions by the manager, 5 good pitches by whoever, 5 good at bats by whoever. We make it to the wild card, right? That's the way I see it. Am I pleased with the way the season ended last year? No, you will never hear me saying, "Oh, that was a good season." We played 500 baseball. Oh, that was great. No, bro. We're here in the business of playing October. That's something that I love. I love doing. I had the chance to do it in 18, do it in 21. Last year, we played some meaningful games, quote unquote, towards the end of the season, right? It was a good experience for the boys. Was it a good season? No, it was good. It was okay, right? It was okay. A lot of learning, a lot of player development. In that sense, yeah, we did. We crushed it. It was good. But at the end of the day, I always tell you, man, the best feeling and the worst feeling of that ballpark is going up the stairs, and all of a sudden you see the green monster, and the first thing you see is what? The standings.
Standings. Yeah.
You see it. It's the only place in the world that the standing is staring at you, and it's telling you the whole story about the season. It's right there, bro. It's right there. And, it's really cool when you take 1, 2, 3 steps and you see Boston right away because you know where you're at. And it sucks when you have to take the 7 or 8 steps, and that's when you see Boston. It's really tough.
Did you tell Greg Whitley, the director of Netflix, to catch that? Hey, what you're gonna want to do here is you're gonna want to focus on.
We got something going on this weekend, right? About that.
Yeah, they're gonna show. You haven't seen any of it, right? No, nothing.
Nothing.
I would ask you if you're nervous, but you're gonna say no. It's whatever. But still.
No. You know what? It is what it is. I thought they did an outstanding job. Just being around and respecting conversations and things. I know some people talk about, the players don't like it, whatever. You know what? Whoever didn't like it is no part of it.
Yeah, some liked it, some didn't. Yeah.
They stay out. They're not in it, But we talked a little bit towards the end, and Greg was like, "Don't worry about it. It's gonna be good." We're gonna make it. I'm like,
that doesn't mean anything. You know what he said? He said that to the JUCO kids in Last Chance U. Don't worry about it. It'll be good.
I'm like, are you sure? And then he explained to me, it's 8 episodes, 45 minutes. Think about it. We have to pick and choose. And it's not the story of the 2024 Red Sox. It's stories within the 2024 Red Sox.
Okay.
So that I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it.
All right. Yeah. All right. The gritty, the Netflix : the gritty gutty Red Sox. I did want to ask you about, going into last year, you talk about building the foundation. Part of it was we forget that you were in a contract year, right? Right? No, you were.
Yeah.
You were. And congratulations on your contract.
Thank
you. But you go back when you go through spring training, you can say, well, the contract doesn't matter, but there was always that element, whether it was 5%, 10%, whatever. It was part of your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was real. It was real.
Now you don't have to, it was real, but now it is not, right?
Yeah, like I think people kind of like, man, it's business, right? It's like
I said you were a great business. I said this, Alex. I said you were a great businessman. I said you were a great business.
Yeah, and that doesn't take away how much I like this organization, right? Like whoever talks to me, they know how I feel about the Boston Red Sox. And if somebody feels differently because I changed my mind to negotiate my contract halfway through the season, well, never mind. But you know what I'm saying? Like this is a business. At the end of the day, it's a business, and they knew how I felt about the organization. They knew how I loved to be with the Red Sox, but at one point it didn't make any sense, And I'm happy that we were able to get it done in a short period of time, whatever window we decide it was there, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited about what's coming.
But you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it.
No. I mean, like now, bro, the other day I was sitting there and like people think that maybe I'm different than other managers. Like people think that we watch every at bat of the kids, the minor leaguers, the prospects. Like we watch every at bat. No, it doesn't happen. I don't do it. I know who they are. I watch whatever. But the other day I went on YouTube and put Kristen Campbell, his homers. I was like, oh shoot, yeah, that's cool. Same thing with Roman Anthony. Like how I operate, man. I don't know. I'm different. I'm just whatever. But one thing for sure, excited about this year. Excited about the future, and we got to get back, man. We got to get back.
So, but those guys you mentioned. And don't worry, we're almost done. But you mentioned those guys. I mentioned this the other day. You weren't around, but people say, "Oh, well, did they have a chance to make the major league team?" I remember spring trainings, man. Like 2013, Jackie Bradley made the team. Mookie Betts, I think it was the next year, makes the team, or basically like puts his foot forward. Like nobody thought it would be the case. So it's not. And if you want to say, hey, these guys are in the mix, that's fine. But I would imagine hey, if you want to force yourself into the conversation in spring training, go ahead.
I mean, look what we have done the last few years, right? Sedan last year, he got every chance to make that team, right? At bats wise and playing center field. The previous year, we played Valdi and Abreu a lot, like they would have played. Like if they're with us, they're gonna play, and there's no age limit to make it to the big leagues, right? And I mean, if we believe that somebody can impact the big league team, and it's not impact because I think people have the wrong impression. For me, for how solid they are. I think they're part of what we're trying to accomplish. I think sometimes people feel like they're going to carry us to the promised land.
Right. They have to be a foundational guy right away.
Dustin Pedroia didn't carry the Red Sox.
No.
In
he went
2007,
to McDonald's. No.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
2017. Right? Yeah, 2007. Yeah.
2007.
You carried the Red Sox for 2000.
Yeah, I did it for a month and a half, but he did not, right?
Yeah.
He was part of what we did. Was he a good player? Of course. But at the end of the day, it was you, it was Mikey, it was David, it was Manny, right? It was Tech, We let him be, right? Hit ninth. And then, he ended up hitting leading off against righties and hitting second against lefties. He did what he did. Jacoby Ellsbury that year, he came up for 15 days. We sent him down. He ended up playing center field for us, right? JD Drew too. He was part of that team. But there's only one rookie of the year, or two, right? One in the American League, one in the National League. Not everybody can be the rookie of the year, but there's a lot of rookies that can actually impact the big league team just being a part of it, right? And I hope that they become the players that we envision that we've been talking about the last few years. But so Dan Rafaela was a good big league player last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the final product? Of course not,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, he struggled the last month and a half, but at one point he was part of the offense, right?
Right.
David Hamilton, he was part of the offense. We got to be careful as far as like what we want. I want them to be the best players they can, and understanding that we're trying to win games. You know, you don't have to come here and prove people that you belong. You know, I think we have shown the last few years that when you're here, you're gonna play. You know, we did it with Jaron, we did it with Casas, we done it with Wonger, Hammy last year, Rafaela. So that's the way I see it.
We do like a good player dominating spring training story, though. With like, it's always, you know, the out of nowhere guy. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I want to say Jed Lowry had a really good spring, like with you guys.
He did.
I don't
He
know.
did.
I'm trying to remember when
Cesar Puello was good for us in 21. I think he hit homers and he was pimping him. Who else?
I mean, I did the "Don't sleep on Romy" tweet on March 17th last year, right?
From Miami.
Yes, I know. Last thing, you mentioned Pedroia. I know that you listened to the Pedroia podcast because you're out running. You must have when he was on like 2 weeks ago.
Here and there.
All right, that's fine. He was like I love it when you get the earnest, the honest, the no bullshit Pedroia. Like, this is why I should be in the Hall of Fame. I love that, right?
Yeah.
So I had to turn in my ballot. I told him I would vote for him. Operation 1525.
I saw that. I saw your part. Yeah.
I tried my best. So for you, like this is my promise this is the last thing, but if you're voting for the Hall of Fame, I get a text from guys that you know, like when I voted for Scott Rowland, like, hey, listen, I was a better player than Scott Rowland, like whatever. You play against guys. I voted for Pedroia for a lot of intangible reasons. I'll be honest with that.
Yeah.
Like, so when you look at like his candidacy, like, how do you view it?
Actually, I did a podcast earlier today with Sean Casey.
Yeah.
We talk about this. It's an interesting one because, his career was cut short, right? Because of injuries. The numbers are the numbers. They're really good numbers. I hate this conversation because there's a lot of good players. No, a lot of Hall of Famers that are not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And we got a few here. Carlos Delgado, bro. Come on. Like 475 homers and and there's guys in there, right? So it's a tough one, especially in our Hall of Fame. Like, our Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame of the Hall of Famers, right? The other ones, with all due respect to the NBA and the NFL,
no, come on.
Feels like
not even
it
close.
feels like it's the Hall of Fame of the good players, right?
Yeah.
I think Petey for 6-7 years, right? He dominated second base. He did. What that means, I don't know. I think Jeff Kent is a Hall of Famer, and he's not because he's the home run leader at second base.
Yeah, well,
Jeff
another
Kent.
one that was on the ballot, which I'm not going to reveal who I voted for other than Pedroia, but Chase Utley was another one. Chase,
bro.
I mean, people don't realize how good he was. And
he was really good, really good.
Yeah.
And I think from that group, that's a tough one too because I think Jimmy's getting votes, right? Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, but he's not getting it.
But Chase is not, right?
Is this the second year he's on? I don't know. I got to look it up, but he's certainly not. I don't think. Put it this way: I don't think Chase Utley is going to get the respect that he deserves. And why
not? Why is that?
Because his offensive numbers, like there was a longevity thing. It's like for one of the things that Pedroia said was, hey, if I play 3 or 4 more years and I'm mediocre, what does that mean? Right? Point well taken, right? Chase Utley kind of did play 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 more years.
But he didn't play.
Where? What? Where?
He didn't play, right? He was a backup guy.
That's the problem. That's the point.
Yeah.
And so it sort of tails off. I mean, I looked at Felix Hernandez, and there's no one more dominant than he was, and then he dropped off a cliff. Right. So anyway, it's a tough one, but I hope, the thing that I hope is that Pedroia makes it to the second ballot, then you go from there. That's all it is. He deserves that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask the players, like I told Sean, like the players that from that period of time, Petey was one of the best players in the big leagues. He was, and that, the whole Hall of Fame thing. I get texts by beat writers, all that, and hey, what do you think about this guy and that guy? Like, bro, like I don't know how you guys vote. To be honest with you, I think it was McCann, right? Like he's on the ballot, and people are. And then I read an article, and they were talking about his framing numbers, all that. And I'm like, it's. I remember McCann because of this, right?
Yeah.
Offensively, not because he was a good.
But think about how unfair that is, though, to a guy like Dwight Evans, where we're talking about framing numbers for Brian McCann, and we wouldn't even talk about WAR with, a guy like Evans, right? It's
Anyway. It's a tough one. I seen some ballots. I'm like, I don't know, but
well,
that's up to you for you guys. It's tough. It's tough, right? It's tough. Who you voted for?
I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Because my ballot reveal is a big deal.
Oh, because you do this whole thing, whatever.
I do. Yeah, I do the whole thing. The guy coming out of the cornfield. Yeah, all of it. Yeah. Anyway, you got anything from me? You've been very generous with your time. You got any questions for me? Yes, I won my basketball game tonight. Yeah. So
you did. Let's see. What you got on this weekend? What you got? Do you like it?
The Fenway Fest?
Yeah.
I loved it when it was at Foxwoods.
That was a really good one. That was.
You were inside. You didn't have to leave.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, it's good for you guys to get together, though. You guys going out to eat or something or anything, or?
I think there's a game on Friday, right?
What? Oh,
do they play Friday?
Oh, Celtics?
The Celtics?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like Saturday night. You guys all going out or something, or?
Dinner, all that stuff. Yeah.
So I don't.
It's freezing up there.
It's free, but the difference is at Foxwoods, you hit the table.
You just stay, you stay inside. You
stay every side. Yeah. So anyway, well, I appreciate you doing this leading up to it. So thank you for all that you do. I appreciate.
Always, it's for the brand, bro.
For the brand.